Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
We're back.
Yes, we are.
It's Sunday. You know what that means.
Uh, no, I don't.
We're going to talk about nonsense.
Okay, fair
Okay.
enough.
Yeah, that's what we do on Sundays now, right? Is we just kind of
That's what we do
whatever.
every day. We just happen to
Do
record
we?
it on Sunday. We,
Do we ever? Yeah, when you and I talk, it's generally like whatever.
yeah, it's literally random, stupid crap until it's really in depth, like about the universe
Well,
and
like the last
existence.
couple of weeks we've been doing, we did like philosophical questions, hypotheticals. We're doing a dating survey, and we still have more to do on that. So
Oh,
like, we're all over the place with this, but we're just we're doing our best, guys. We're killing it, as they say. And today'll be no exception. So before we get fully rolling here, a couple of quick updates. This was our first week running a schedule on the Twitch channel. Very successful. We had quite a few viewers. We got a few new subscribers. So, kind of how the schedule's going is Mondays, Dan is doing the WWE Supercard event. He has a group that he plays that game with. It's a mobile game. I'm not that familiar with it. It's a battle card game with a wrestling theme to it. I know it's a little more in depth than that. He's been playing it since day one. A lot of the video games that have come out come with like those bonus codes and everything. I always just give it to him because I don't play it. So
what game is that?
it's called WWE Supercard.
All right, I'll check it out.
I was gonna say that might end up being something that you'd be even more into than I would be.
I do like my mobile games.
Yes, and you like card games. I know that.
That too.
I know you like card games that piss you off. For some reason, you still play them, but
Because that like split second of haha I won outweighs the 90% of the time that you fucking lose.
all right. Which game pisses you off the most? Yu-Gi-Oh, Hearthstone, or League of Legends?
League of Legends.
League of Legends is the one.
Yeah. League of Legends, then Yu-Gi-Oh, then Hearthstone.
Do you like that I lumped all three of those together because they're like the three most popular games that have huge fandoms that also hate the game but can't stop playing it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate.
There's a couple of games like that out there. Like for reasons I will never comprehend, I've played Animal Crossing New Horizons every single day since that game came out in March of 2020. Literally every day I've played that game, and it still finds new ways to piss me off. Whether it's I can't find a fossil, or I can't find a neighbor, or I'm trying to solve a task and I can't do it, or someone's trying to move on me and no, because you're my favorite and you're not allowed to go anywhere. It just pisses me off every day. Yet I keep playing. So it's just one of those things, right? But so that's Monday. Tuesdays is Dan's grab bag. Basically, whatever he wants to play. I believe he's doing Ghosts of Tunisia right now. If I said that correctly, Ghosts of
So, the newest one?
yeah,
Okay.
he's
I
playing
can't.
that.
Yeah.
Wednesdays is Super Nintendo Melee, going through the entire Super Nintendo library. Got our second S tier game, Super Castlevania 4, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, so that and Super Mario World are the only S tier games. Now, there's been a couple A tiers, like Final Fantasy 2/4 and Final Fight. I very much enjoyed those. I wouldn't call them S tiers because I'm not a Final Fantasy fanboy like a lot of people are. But Castlevania, I love me some Castlevania, so that made S tier. And there's only been one F tier game, and that was that horrible Ultraman game. And I'm not alone on that one because oh god, the
Ultraman
reviews.
sucked. I
Oh god,
actually
the
had that
reviews.
game.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't beat the first boss. I literally got him down to the itty bitty, like a pixel of health, and I still lost.
You want to know why? You need to do a finisher in order to beat the boss. Doesn't matter how low their life gets. You need to get them to a certain point, and then you need to do the Ultraman finisher, which I don't know how to do.
All right, well, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Couldn't play it. Hated it. F. F. I did that backwards because I'm facing the opposite direction here. Sorry, people. Thursday is kind of my grab bag. So what I did this week was I loaded up some Game Boy classics. I played Super Mario Land. Didn't actually beat it because the final boss destroyed me. He's always been a hard final boss, and obviously it's been a while since I played that game, so I wasn't even expecting to make it to the end of the game. Then I played Kirby's Dream Land and beat that in its entirety. Still a fun, simple game. And then I played Tetris until I decided time was up. So I did some Game Boy memories, and there'll be a couple more. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, and is on the agenda. I didn't want to do it the same night because I kind of want that game to get its own stream. Link's Awakening, I'm not going to do the Game Boy version. I'm going to actually stream the remake. And then, of course, Pokemon has been a suggestion. And I think what I'm going to do is instead of doing red or blue, I'm going to do gold and silver because there were so many new elements of gold and silver that I think need to be talked about. But I'm also a little hesitant to do that because of the time in the game. And these are going to be night streams, so I'm only ever going to be able to catch stuff at night. So I'm not 100% sure if I want to go that route yet. And then, of course, I could always just have a little bit of fun and, with the Switch hooked up, go back to Let's Go Eevee, the remake of Yellow. Or just do Yellow, where you get a Pikachu. So, that's an option, too. Fridays, Dan is brought back CKCW Wrestling. He uses the Fire Pro system to simulate wrestling matches and just ran his first card. And then Saturdays, in the afternoon, he does sports games. And then in the evening, he'll either do a follow-up sports game or we'll do Multiplayer Madness on Saturdays, which is when a bunch of us get together. So this past Saturday, we did Fall Guys. That was my first time ever playing it. I had fun.
It's a fun game.
Oh, yeah. I would love to play that with you sometime. I feel like we could have a blast with it. Just get on a Teams chat and just go.
So just a heads up. It's notorious for me to get dropped on that first fall. I don't know why.
What do you play it on?
PC.
Okay.
I use my controller because I feel like I have better handling with the controller.
Well, it's free on PS5, so.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. That's how I got
it.
I
didn't know that.
So maybe you should try it on PS5.
Sure. I'll just have to find a PS5, buy it, bring it back.
I thought you had one.
No, Matt has the PS5.
Okay.
So far, it's just you and Dan.
I really thought you. You know why? Because you were the one that got the PS4.
Yeah.
Well before I did, and you're just like, oh yeah, I got a PS4 now. And you said it so casually, I was so mad. You're like, oh yeah, by the way, I got a PS4. The backstory of how you got it was great.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much just won it. At least.
Do anybody out there know anybody who won anything on those freaking Taco Bell box giveaways? You know how many of those freaking boxes I bought trying to get a PS4 and then you just get one? So mad. You know why? Because you probably got it at the same Taco Bell that I shopped at the time, because it happened when we were living in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, it was only the one Taco Bell that's off of 192. I don't know of any other Taco Bell.
There was one near downtown Disney, I believe, because that's the one we used to meet up at for Safari. But the one on 192 is close to my house where I was living.
Yeah.
So obviously that was the one I always went to. But so many of those box meals, man. I got so fat trying to get a PS4. And you just win one.
I'm just like, hey, oh, look at this.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. Don't believe me. I remember. I remember. So, Fall Guys was a lot of fun. I don't know what we got planned for this Saturday, but the 10th we're bringing Among Us back. We've already got 7 participants lined up. I'm trying to get a full 15 roster. So if anybody out there is listening and you play Among Us and you'd like to join us on Saturday the 10th, we're going to get started around 6:30 p.m. That's usually like the buffer time to get set up and everything. Start the stream right around 7. A ton of new updates to the game, brand new features. Now you can switch between maps without leaving the lobby, so we can just get in a lobby, fill it up, block the noobs out from joining us, but nah, I mean,
the noobs.
I mean, I'm fine with new people playing with us. But I want to actually know the person or somebody to like bring a friend to the group. That's one of those games that I don't like playing it with randos. Like Fall Guys, you can play that with anybody because you can just do the solo stuff and just have fun with it. But Among Us, because of the talking element, the clue element behind it, the problem solving, that's very much a game that you want to play with friends. I've played a couple of randoms and I just wasn't having fun because it's all first of all, there's no voice chat, it's all text when you're playing with randoms. And I just can't type that fast, and then everybody is just breaking down and people are voting out Black because he's black. I'm like, oh god, it's one of these games, isn't it?
And we're voting out Matt because he's Matt. It's the same
Oh,
thing.
we talked about that in length. Go watch the stream. It's on YouTube now. Go watch the stream from the other night and listen to Matt talk about that at length. So we just do that to rile him up, and it worked. So
yeah,
don't get so riled up. But so yeah, and then Sundays, of course, we're keeping that for the podcast. So, but I'm thinking, Eric, since we're approaching 10 episodes of doing this, and we seem to be doing this pretty consistently, maybe, just maybe, we should consider doing some live streams on Twitch.
Okay.
We can do live interactions. That. We can do Q&As.
I like Q&As.
Mm-hmm. You can give live advice. You always wanted to do that. You want to give life advice.
I do.
I like watching your cat get down on the TV stand and the other cat kind of following it, and now they're just trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. And now, we're leaving together? How sweet.
They go everywhere together.
Yeah, well.
Not by choice.
I have no examples of that
at
the moment.
If Kitty goes somewhere, Kiri's going to follow. If Kiri goes somewhere, Kitty doesn't give a shit. Kitty will just stay where he's at. But Kitty can't go anywhere alone.
See, the cats don't do that in our house. They just follow us, not each other. If we go somewhere, they're following.
Yeah.
Like little shadows.
This morning, it was kind of... So this morning, Rebecca went to get the puppy to have the puppy wake me up. Kiri ran in the room before the puppy even got up the stairs, and she was pretty much protecting me. She was like swatting at the dog, like you leave him alone. No, like legit fighting the dog off to let me sleep. And I was just like, I love this cat. This is why cats are the greatest.
Do your cats play favorites?
Yes. Yes, they do.
The boys love her, and Lily loves me.
Both the cats love me.
What about the dog?
I don't know, man. That dog is so wild and crazy. The dog definitely loves Rebecca more.
Wild and crazy dogs. So what I was doing before we actually started recording here, I was playing chess. Haven't done that in a really long time, actually. Because with the PlayStation Plus and everything, they've got, games like, they've got like a pool game and a chess game and stuff that would interest me to play as a video game, but not something I would have necessarily gone out to the store and spent 20, 30, 40 bucks on, right? But
right.
with the games on demand with the monthly subscription, and I'm paid up for a year, so I'm not going to pay again until next August. I'm like, well, screw it. I'm going to play a lot of these games that I would have just eyed up in the store and been like, well, that could be fun. Basically, I'm treating them like, lo and behold, the days when we would go to the video store, Eric, and rent a video game. Remember those days?
I remember. So I feel like the issue with those games, right? Because I do like chess and checkers and all these like board games and stuff like that. But I personally will not spend $20 or $5 on it. But if it came with a different game that I was planning on buying, then yeah, I'd play it. But it'd have to come with a different game.
So like what they just released, the 51 games on the Switch that I got has chess, has checkers, has mahjong, has solitaire, has spider solitaire, has poker, blackjack, a puzzle game that's sort of like Bust a Move, and then it's got backgammon, Go, Yahtzee, like just all these games, and then it's got even some of the stuff like they did with Wii Sports. It's toy versions of it in the game, but it's got tennis and bowling, and so you use the Switch remotes and you can kind of play it that way again. And I really, really dug that game. And I remember when it came out, I was like, that's going to be really good streaming material. And now all I do is I just play with it. And I haven't streamed any of it. And they've got like the air hockey game where you can use your finger on the Switch, like the touch screen, and
Oh yeah,
control the
just kind of.
paddle. Oh, that's so much fun. I love that. I have such a freaking blast playing that. And I haven't streamed any of it. What's wrong with me?
Again, I don't think I could buy that unless it came with something else. Like if
Right.
even if it was just like a nostalgia game, like if you were to tell me, "Oh, hey, if you bought Super Mario All-Stars, like if they re-released it or whatever."
Which they've
And
done.
yeah, and if you buy that, you get like Mario Chess or something
Yeah.
for free. I'd be like, "Cool. I play Mario Chess that way, but I wouldn't buy it just like Mario Chess."
Where they actually make a Mario chessboard too, which I think is pretty interesting. So,
But how are you in chess? Because I don't think that's a game we've actually played together.
I used to be very good. Now I'm just good because I'm
I suck
very
at
out
it,
of practice. So, well, and the other thing is the chess game that I was playing on PlayStation actually taught me some new rules and moves that I wasn't overly familiar with. I know all the base pieces and how to move them, but I don't necessarily know different terminology and different strategies. I have my own strategy, but I learned a couple of new strategies that really fascinated me, like specifically a way to sacrifice a piece but still pin the king. And I was like, if I do that move, I'm going to lose a bishop and a knight. Oh, but I win. So it doesn't matter if I lose those two pieces because he'll fall for it. And if he falls for it, I get checkmate and I win anyway. And that's like, well, damn. I hope you enjoyed killing those pieces because now you're done. So good job. But like stuff I used to know, like castling, where you can move the king two pieces and then switch the rook with him. You can only do
Yeah.
it once per game. Like basic stuff like that I knew, but then I learned I never knew that pawns could capture sideways. I always thought they could only capture diagonally, but there's a circumstance where they can still capture sideways. And I learned that for the first time, and I never knew that was an actual way of playing.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'd have to pull it up again and actually show you, but if the pawns are in a position where it's coming down next to you, you can do a diagonal thing and capture the pawn next to you, but still move diagonally and still get rid of the pawn on the opponent's side. And I never knew that was a thing. I always thought it was just diagonal was it, but there's actually a rule where you can do it that way.
Huh.
Which was, well, really freaking interesting because good God, like, I would have never guessed.
Yeah, I know there's rules that I don't know about chess, and it's been a long, long time since I played chess.
Right.
Literally since like high school, which at this point is too long ago. Almost 20 years now.
Nice. We're not old at all.
Fuck me.
We're not old at all. Not at all. Well, because board games had come up as a topic, I found an article that lists the 50 best board games of all time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the list and let's talk about if we've played them and if we like them.
Okay.
Because board games are awesome. And I very much want to do this on Twitch, and I think we can pull it off. One of the things I wanted to do was like set up a board game like right here on camera, right? And just have you guys all remotely, and then we can play the board game and I'll just control the motion, but we can do it remotely. Because I've got all kinds of games in the closet that I can't play with anybody because nobody's physically here.
You just play Connect 4.
Yeah. I mean, we could technically do that remotely. You just tell me where to drop the piece and I'll do it.
Who was it that did they put Connect 4 inside a 3D printer and they had just they literally just moved the pieces. Like I could control it from here. You didn't have to touch it at all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that like a Mr. Beast thing or something? That sounds like something he would do.
Maybe. Fuck, I gotta look it up.
Well, look up Connect 4 made out of chocolate.
What?
They make a chocolate Connect 4 board, and then they make chocolate pieces, and they play it, and then they eat it.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
Can I get that too? Okay, so a game like that could work for not like something like Clue, where you have like secret cards and everything, but We could play Monopoly remotely, have the board set up. I put all your stuff in different places to designate you, move your pieces around the board, and I mean, I won't even have to roll the dice for you. We can get like a dice rolling thing so you can roll your own dice. Like click the button and it rolls 2d6s and we just add them up. So I mean, like that kind of stuff is possible, and I think that could be fun for a board game night. So the first game on the list, these are the classics. The Game of Life.
Good game. Fun.
Yeah. My only issue with the Game of Life has always been if you get one of like the high careers, you end up kind of overpowered for winning the game. Because there's like no salary cap, and yeah, it's the harder path in the game, but if you take it, you pretty much win every time. I always felt like there was no real strategy there.
Accidentally have like 8 kids. Good God, sir. Learn to pull out.
Do you think either one of us has an accidental baby out there?
I try not to think about it.
Yeah. Let's not think about that. What a wonderful surprise that would be. There's a knock on the door. There's a 12-year-old kid outside. Like, can I help you? You're my dad. To what?
I'll be like, wrong house, kid.
Yeah, nope. Nope. No. The guy you're looking for is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You need to go there.
Trust me, you don't want me as a dad.
So I kind of said this once. People were like, are you ever going to have kids? Because you're getting older. And I'm like, okay, here is where I actually... I'll say this on the podcast. This is actually where I stand officially on this. If an option for adoption, fostering, or becoming a stepdad was ever in my future, hell yeah. And I would treat that kid like gold. As far as me bringing my own biological spawn into this world, nobody wants that. So, y'all are safe. I will take someone else's kid and father the hell out of them, but I'm not contributing to the overpopulation hell that we're already in right now.
I think that dream of like having your own family has kind of gone out the window when all the fucking prices have skyrocketed, man.
I couldn't actually afford to have a biological kid.
There's a meme out there that like says like pets are the new kids, plants are the new pets. And that's just because of the economy, and I 100% agree.
Well, the economy is going to start to go down significantly when people aren't producing. So maybe things will come back into play. Next game is Clue. Always a fun one.
Fun game.
We've played Clue Flight quite a few times, you and I.
Yes. Wait, hold up. What? Were you there? I was playing a game of Clue where I literally walked into the very first room and I just made a wild accusation and got it correct.
That was not me. I would have remembered that. That would have been amazing. I would have hated you.
I literally came at like
I would have
they were
hated
mixing up all the cards and everything. I came back from the bathroom and I was like, "This is my turn." Like, yes, we've been waiting on you. Like, all right, my bad. So I rolled the dice and I walked into like I can't remember where the fuck it was, and I was like, "It was this person with this and that," just because I wanted to start gathering intel because somebody was going to sell me something. And nobody showed me shit. And I'm just like, are you serious? And everybody's just like, someone's joking. Quit joking. And then we were like, all right, I guess we're going to have to open it. And it was fucking it. I was just like, okay. All right.
Eric signed up for law school right after that.
No, it was a lucky guess. But holy shit.
I would have been so mad at you.
Ruined the fucking game like that fast.
We played Big Bang Theory Clue together.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was fun. You won. I remember that. And I remember
I'm really good at Clue.
I remember all of a sudden you started strategizing right away. We saw you right on the pad. You put it down and you started specifically moving to the other side of the board. And Rebecca just looks at you and goes, "Fuck, he solved it." We knew at that point. We're like, crap. All of a sudden, you became very confident very quickly. And I
I'm good at
remember.
putting pieces together, unless it's my life. In which case, it's gonna stay in pieces.
Ugh. All right. Why do you have to attack me with this relatable content? Okay, Candyland.
Never played it.
So of course it's like the simplest board game. You just draw cards, move across the board, and whoever gets to the end wins. It's like that perfect game to teach little kids. But the last time I played Candyland, I played it with our friends Jessica and Katie. Shout out to them. And they had a giant Candyland board Jessica had in her apartment. It was like a giant rug with giant pieces and giant cards, and it was awesome. And we're like, well, we have to play Giant Candyland. And then they got me to play Just Dance on the Wii, and Jessica took pictures of it, of me and Katie dancing. And she's like, this is proof that Chris loved the game. I'm like, this is proof that Chris played the game. Monopoly, I have a love-hate relationship with that game.
I love to hate that game.
Yeah, because I enjoy playing it, but I always get mad when I play it.
I don't understand the strategy of that game. I always lose. I have never won a single game of Monopoly.
I've only ever won because the other players were just like, we're done. You win.
Yeah, like literally you just
victory.
That's a game of stamina. You just outlast everybody else. I think maybe one time I got lucky because I ended up landing on Park Place and Boardwalk, and I owned both of them. And I was like, fuck it. I owned no other properties at that point, so I just put like the hotels on them. And then somebody landed on it, and I killed them from the game almost immediately. You had to like sell off all his shit, and I was like, gimme, they're mine now.
Capitalism at its finest. I do like the themed monopolies though, and how many of them are out there, and you can basically make a monopoly with any theme. So, because I've got a couple. I've got Star Wars and Simpsons and all kinds of different themes. You could make up your own too. Like they had that create your own monopoly one, and I remember this was back when I was working at Universal, but I made a concept for a create your own monopoly that had all the rides between Universal and Islands of Adventure, and I think it came out perfect too. I separated it by land area, and then I'm trying to remember what the big two were. I can't remember now. I think it might have been Forbidden Journey and Dragon Challenge might have been the big ones, because Potter was brand new at the time. But I figured out a way to work everything in there, and I was really proud of that. And then I never got to actually make it and play it.
Do you remember when it was Dueling Dragons?
Do you know how much I wrote it when it was Dueling Dragons, dude? I wrote it all the time. I love that coaster. I miss that coaster. It was so much fun.
And then someone died.
Nobody died.
That's normally what happened. They killed the coaster, that's for sure.
Well, the coaster died. I do miss being there at, like, the ass crack of dawn when they were doing the testing and you would hear Merlin. The dragons are about to move. I'm like, that's so cool. And that's like, now it's just a generic British guy. Not even Merlin anymore.
But that's so cool.
It was cool, damn it. Scrabble.
I could leave it.
I love Scrabble, but I'm also really good at it because I know lots of words. And I'm also very good at strategy because I know how to do proper tile placement. And a lot of that happened because of my former addiction to Words with Friends.
Words with Friends is good. I just don't like Scrabble. It's because I'm not good at spelling to begin with. And then the words that I do know, it just so embarrassing. You put like dictionary and ambidextrous and all this shit, and I'm like cat, dog, walk,
At 2,
run.
I made of. Well, the F is worth a few points, so You get a decent amount out of that.
Who was it that I pissed off because I started it?
Where do we begin?
And yeah, right. I started a game of Scrabble that I didn't want to play, and I was like, "All right, cool." So I just put the letter A down in the center. That's it. That was my entire word. And
It's not
he's
even a
just like,
legal word. That's the best part.
and he's like, "You're a fucking asshole!" Like I told you, you didn't want to play this game.
That's great. I love it. All right, here's some popular strategy board games. Battleship.
Battleship is good. I haven't played it in forever.
That's one we could do remotely. Because we just have to have our own version of it in front of us, and then we can just play it.
Yeah.
We could do that. I love Battleship. That actually might be my favorite board game. Just because I have a really good win-loss record with it. I've won way more than I've ever lost. I used to have a surefire strategy, but eventually people figure it out, so I have to change it up the more I play with people. But
You just run through. Just do X's.
yeah, you just
And then
fire blindly and hope for the best. No, I actually had a... Well, it's cool because it's as much strategy offense as defense. Yeah, you're looking for your opponent's ships, but you're also trying to position your own ships so they can't find them. And then there's the whole thing like, well, I can hide ships next to each other. Odds are they won't find it, but then if they hit 2 hits, they could discover 2 ships at once. So like, it's all about how you wanna do it.
My friend's strategy for that game was literally take all your ships and bunch them all together right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point you're going to get the 5 in a row but not sink a single ship, and he's going to call you out and be like, that's bullshit. How do I hit 5 times in a row and not sink a ship? That's got to be your battleship, and it only has like 5 points. And you're just like, I don't know, man, I don't know what to fucking tell you. And then but like, the thing is, once you get a hit, right, it's easy for him to figure out where the rest of your boats are. But finding where your group of fucking boats are is damn near impossible.
Well, yeah, because think about it. The longest ship is 5 points. If you hit it in the middle and then go 1, 2, and then get another one, and then another one, and now you got... Like, if your 2 longest ships, the battleship and the airship, the aircraft carrier, are next to each other, that's 5 and 4. Now imagine you get 3 hits on the carrier, 2 on the battleship. You're like, oh, I sunk it. Well, no, you didn't. Because you only got 2 on each, 3 on the other. You have to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would piss me off too, actually. So, good strategy. Maybe I'll implore that on you.
I've always played the game to just piss off my opponent, never to actually win.
Okay, now we have to play and we have to stream it.
Okay.
Okay. Risk. I have a love-hate relationship with Risk too. Because it's a fun game, but it's one of those ones that can break down real easily. And if you're playing with somebody who's taking too many cheap opportunities... Oh, I just echoed really bad. Hi.
Was it because of this?
No, because I heard myself on your end too. And I was like,
Just
double Risk. Now, Risk was always a love-hate relationship because if you have somebody, because it's all about the opening placement, and if you don't get a good opening placement, you can't win.
right. If you get placed in the lower half of Africa, you're kind of screwed unless there's like 6 players.
Yeah. And that's another thing. It's based on how many people are playing can make it way easier or way harder. I have never played Stratego.
I've never even heard of that.
I've never played Axis and Allies. And then we were just talking about chess, so... I do not know how to play backgammon, but I could learn from that 52 games because it has tutorials on literally every game in there. It teaches you how to play, so you can just pick up and go.
Could you imagine if it didn't, though?
Yeah, you just... Okay, I'm just going to click buttons and hope for the best. You win. Did I? What's the objective? Checkers, everybody's played. Chinese checkers. You ever played that?
No.
It's it's not bad. It's different. You're moving marbles across the board and you can jump them and you're just trying to get from one point to the other. And it's all about strategy. It's similar to chess in that you have to watch what your opponent's doing, but you're not capturing any pieces. You're just trying to strategically get your pieces across the board. Blockus, I've played that once. It's kind of like a Tetris board game.
A Tetris board game.
Yeah, you have all these multicolored blocks, and you put them down on the board and try to make connections. And the best part was we were playing with my young niece, and obviously she was too young to know the rules, so she just put down blocks wherever she wanted instead of like where you're technically supposed to put them. She'll just put a block down wherever she felt like it. I've actually made the game way harder because you have to now strategize around it. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're actually playing advanced mode.
They're like, son of a bitch, how do I get through this?
I've never heard of Agricola. Is that like agriculture and Coca-Cola? It's a farm game. All right, these are best board games for kids. Connect 4.
Yep.
Connect 4 is fun. Twister.
Twister is a great game for adults.
Twister's fun if you incorporate alcohol.
Yes.
Operation. I was always so bad at that game.
Yeah.
I got sued so many times.
It's a great way to find out if you're going to get Parkinson's, I guess. There it is.
Michael J. Fox would not be good at Operation. How far did we make it? All right, at least we got past the first half hour of the show. Do you remember Don't Break the Ice?
I do.
I remember that. I never owned it, but I definitely played it. You remove the little ice cubes and try to make the penguins not fall.
Yeah. You stack them up and then you just knock one block at a time, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to,
Trying to get the penguin to fall. It's mean. Hungry Hippos. Yeah, I've played that.
I don't understand that game. Like, I get it, but like, it's not like it's a turn-based game. You're just mashing down on a hippo and it's eating stuff.
Kind of luck-based, yeah. But it's a game for kids, so.
Yeah, I guess.
Boggle, I wouldn't consider that really a kid's game. That can be actually really strategic.
Boggle?
Yeah. Because
I don't know why, but every time I hear Boggle, I also think Trouble.
You ever played Trouble? Yeah, it might come up on the list actually, but yes, I've played Trouble. There was Trouble, and then there was Double Trouble. It was like when they had Double Dare, and then they had Family Double Dare. They just increased the amount in the game. Same game, they just increased the number of players. Yeah, I remember Trouble, because Trouble was cool because it had the little popper thing in the middle for the dice.
Yeah.
And I thought that thing was awesome. No other games had that.
I know, that's what made it cool.
I think more people were attracted to that than actually playing the game, just popping the dice.
Pop up, pop up. Yep.
Okay, Mousetrap. Own that.
Never. I mean, I've messed with it, but I've never actually played the game.
Dude,
is that if
for
that
real?
Makes sense?
That's like I played with it.
Yes, I played with it, but I've never played the game.
Set up the trap and make the little contraption go. Some Dr. Seuss shit going on, and like Jenga. Jenga can be a lot of fun.
Drunk Jenga.
There's a really inappropriate joke involving buildings, and I'm not going to make it. Not doing it. Trying not to get banned on YouTube.
Okay. Good luck.
It's exactly what you guys thought it was. Yes, I have a dark sense of humor. I'm horrible. I get it. Mastermind. Have you ever played that?
No.
Okay. Really fun strategy game. So there's 6 different colors of pegs, and you hide 4 of them in the little. You hide 4 of them at the end. You set a pattern, and then what you do is you fill up. You have 10 chances. You put the 4 colors down, and then the person tells you if you got any of them correct. And there's if they put down a white peg, it means you've got a color correct. If they put down a red peg, it means you've got a color correct in the right spot. And the object is to figure out what the pattern is hidden. So then you put your next set of pegs down, and then the person tells you how many of those you got right. So, like, this is on that 52 games that I play. So the colors they have are red, blue, green, yellow, white, and purple. So what I always do is first of all, I set it so the colors can't duplicate. Because if you do duplicating colors, that's like that next level. That's like going from like normal to advanced level. So I'm like, okay, well, let's do this for a little bit till I kind of figure out the strategy, and then I'll try in advanced mode. So I always would do like red, blue, green, yellow right away to see if those colors are in there. And then if two of them are out, I know automatically that white and purple are involved. I just have to now figure out which of the other two colors aren't there. And you have 10 shots to get it. And then if you get it right, once you have the right pattern, you open up the tray. And if you get to the end and you fail, they open it up and see what it is. But it can be a lot of fun. It's a good strategy game. It makes you think.
It sounds like a rushed version of Clue.
with no murder and no Colonel
Mustard. No murder. Or there could be murder, but it might be actual murder.
I have heard of Quirkle. I have never played it.
Never heard of it.
Okay. These are family board games now. We have Uno. That's a family ruining board game.
That's one way to find a new family, I guess.
Draw four. My favorite was the official Uno Twitter is like, look, the rules don't stay. You're not supposed to just stack the draw whatever is on top of each other. It doesn't work like that. I'm like, listen, you let me worry about how we're going to play this game, okay?
Somebody else is like, Uno doesn't know how to play Uno.
Yeah. Uno has no idea how to play its own game. Cranium is pretty fun.
Never played it.
Kind of like charades, in a way. Dominoes. I played dominoes back at the hotel. I remember during one of those event nights where like we had nothing to set up. We were just kind of there in case somebody needed something. During our downtime, we had this thing of dominoes in the back, and one of my coworkers actually knew how to play. He learned in the military. You know, because dominoes is one of those things that's like easy to carry in your bag.
Yeah.
So you just bring it with you. So he taught me how to play. I don't really remember how to do it. All the dominoes I had, I used to make the little patterns and knock them over. That's what I used to do with them.
So dominoes is a great game. It's a great game for multiplayer if you have 4 people, and you partner up with each other. So like, let's say if you and I were partners, you would be sitting across from me, and then there'd be 2 on either side, and they'd be partners, right? So I would have to figure out a way to send you a message to let you know what kind of dominoes I have. And in return, you're going to be doing the same thing, but we can't just show each other, right? So there's just like, and the more you play with people, the more you pick up on these like subtleties, right? So like if we've played a lot, then if I played like a double 5 at a certain point, you would know, okay, he probably has like a lot of fucking 5s. So now I need to like make it a way where if let's say I have a lot of 5s and you also have a lot of 5s, that means these two don't. So if I put a 5 on this side, you can close off that side by putting a 5, because basically what would end up happening is they would have to skip because they can't play anything. I would have to be like, okay, 5 and what? What else does he have a lot of in his hands that these guys probably don't? And then I would have to try to either lock it up with another 5, which is going to be difficult, or lock it up with a color, a number that I think you might have.
Okay.
And the whole thing is just trying to get each other to skip. Like I'm trying to make this person skip. You're trying to make that person skip. And then until we have nothing left in our hands.
It's kind of like if you actually play tag team Uno. If you have 4 people and you play where the 2 across from each other are going to team up, and then these 2 on this side are going to team up, and the idea is for them to help finish each other's cards off, which works with the whole I'm going to skip him, then I'm going to skip him and come back to you. Like, so yeah, I get that. We could get really mean tag teaming up on games, you and I. Because the thing is, no, because you know why? Because all the people who know us would think that we're lousy cheaters, but we're not. We're strategizers.
Yeah.
It's not our fault we figured out how to beat you.
It's just like, so what if I saw what he's holding in his glasses? It's just part of the game.
Well, Chutes and Ladders, I always played the hell out of that as a kid. Again, that's such an easy game for a kid to pick up and play. Try to get on the ladders, try to avoid the chutes. The original game was actually called Snakes and Ladders.
Yeah, that's what I remember it as.
Carcassonne, I actually have played that. Hexagonal pieces, and you try to connect roads and everything. Pretty easy. Traffic Jam is single player. The one I knew it was called Road Rash. It's a gridlock game. You have a red car and you're trying to get them out the grid, and the cars are all in a pattern, and you have to move them and try to unlock it. I actually do have that game downstairs. It's fun. It comes with a bunch of cards, and you set it up, and then you just try to figure out the puzzle. And then like the easiest one you can win in like 4 moves, and then the hardest one there's like 20 something moves that you have to make. It's all strategy. All right, there's Trouble. We talked about that. Ticket to Ride. I've always wanted to learn that because it seemed like it'd be fun. Sorry. A game where you're not.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not sorry. Yahtzee. Love Yahtzee. Again,
it took me a while to understand the rules to Yahtzee.
Yeah. So let's time travel a little bit, Eric. Back in the days of DOS, where your entire computer screen was just the C loading cursor.
Mm-hmm.
And I would enter the command to play my Yahtzee game as a little kid. That's how I learned how to play Yahtzee. And what do you know about the scoring in Yahtzee? You know, like,
higher the better, right?
Right. Well, like a Yahtzee is worth 50 points.
Yeah.
And then a double Yahtzee is like another, and it just keeps increasing, right?
Oh, I didn't know there were doubles. I just thought Yahtzee
yeah.
was highest.
Yeah, and then, well, here's the thing. You can get Yahtzee, right? And then you can roll a second Yahtzee. You'll get those points, plus you'll get like a 4 of a kind, or the 6s, or whatever you got out of it. So you can get an insanely high score. Here's what I always remember about that. Again, little kid. I had a score of 774, which is insanely good for a game of Yahtzee. Like, top tier good. Would you like to know what I entered my name as?
What'd you enter your name as?
Jerk.
Jerk?
So, still to this day, I bet if I found that floppy disk and successfully loaded it, I bet it's still there. The high score in Yahtzee was 774, set by Jerk. Nice. And I remember my mom was just so annoyed with that. And now that I know that Mom watches these episodes, hi, Mom.
Hey.
Do you remember Jerk, the high Yahtzee score? She's going to laugh her ass off when she hears that. I bet that's deep in the recesses of her brain, and I just pulled it out. She probably started laughing as soon as I started telling the story, because she knew where I was going.
I thought it was just a game of luck, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It is. I got very lucky. The computer algorithm worked in my favor. I can't do that shit in real life.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you roll 4 6s. You have a 1 in 6 shot of getting the other 6. You think you're going to get it? You have 2 tries to get it. Good luck.
What was it called whenever you got them like in numerical order?
Straight.
Just a straight?
Yeah. If you got all 5 of them in a row, it's a large straight. And if you got 4 of them in a row, it's a small straight. Large straights are worth 40 and small straights are worth 30. So, like, the small straight was the one you wanted 2, 3, 4, 5. Because if you got that, then all you needed was the 1 or the 6 and you could complete it. You already had the small straight. So now you're going to roll for the next one and you're going to hope for the large one.
Yep.
Usually,
I do remember that.
if you couldn't get the Yahtzee, usually the one that screwed you was the large straight or the full house. Because the full house was 3 and 2, just like in poker.
Yeah.
And that one could get really difficult too, depending on. Yeah,
I remember rolling one naturally, where it was I got 3 4s and then 2 2s.
Yeah, And that
And
can
I was
happen.
like, oh.
You're like, okay, well, there you go. I mean, and that's another thing. Yahtzee's one of those games you just need a 5 die, and that's all you need, because I know how the point system works. So you have 1 through 6, which is the numerical order of however many of those you rolled. And if you get 62 points out of that, which is basically a 3 of a kind in all 6 columns, is like the minimum, you get that bonus 35 points, and that can actually make or break you. Because you can win a game, even if they get a Yahtzee and they get 50 points, you get a bonus 35, and they fuck up a large straight, you could win with that, even without a Yahtzee. Could be all it takes to win. And then it was 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, which is, it's the total amount of the die that you have. So if you get a 4 of a kind with 4 1s and a 2, well, that sucks. You got your 4 of a kind, but you only got 6 points. You only got 6 points. Full house was worth 25, small straight 3, large straight 40. So 30, 40, Yahtzee 50, and then chance was like you just add up whatever's on the die. You get 1 chance. So that's if you don't get anything. You can take your chance, but then after that you have to take a 0 in one of the categories. So now it becomes a strategy of, do I take the 0 in the Yahtzee because it's the least likely thing I'm going to get? Or do I take the 0 in the 1s, because then if I get a 4 of a kind on any other number, even the 2s, I can still get my bonus 35. There's all kinds of strategy there. Yahtzee's a game that's very easy to teach somebody. Yes, it takes a lot of luck, but it also takes a lot of strategy and thinking. Pictionary is more fun when you're like me and you can't draw for shit. I think that makes it more fun. Because now you have to try to figure out what my little scribbles on the board are. Good luck.
Yep.
Really good stand-up comedy routine if you want to look this up. His name's Chad Thornsberry. He's a comedian from Missouri, really dry, droll southern accent, but he's really funny. He has this great bit about how him and his wife were playing Pictionary with this other group, and their competitiveness. He goes, for the win, the word I have to draw is gorilla. Well, I can't draw a gorilla, but here's what I can do. I can draw a tree. And then I can draw a banana hanging from the tree. And then I can draw something that looks like it's trying to grab the banana. And she'll say monkey, and I'll do the whole... And then she'll click down to gorilla. He goes, well, that's how it played out in my head. He said, so of course the routine is like, he's like, monkey, chimpanzee. He's like, chimpanzee? And he's just like, what about chimp? No, that's the same thing. And they start arguing. And everyone's like, you're not supposed to talk. He goes, we're not helping each other here. And then the best part at the end, she's just like, well, what was it supposed to be? A gorilla. That doesn't look like a gorilla. He goes, you're right, it doesn't. It also doesn't look like a chimp, and you guessed that 20 times. So,
yeah.
That funny. Reminds me of the Big Bang Theory when they're playing Pictionary. And the word is present. So Penny draws a box with a bow, and Sheldon draws the 4 of them playing Pictionary, because it's not a present, it's the present.
My God.
So Penny and Amy kick their asses at it because... And then, like, Leonard's drawing a chocolate chip cookie, and Sheldon's guessing, like, it's a quark muon plasma. And he's like, no. And he goes, if you wanted to guess chocolate chip cookie, draw a glass of milk next to it. Goes, well, Penny got it. Yeah, well, I eliminated all the obvious answers. And then the best one was, the word was polish, but he thought it was Polish. So he draws like dead Madame Curie, hot dogs, and like a solar system. And then good God.
What a great show.
I know. Great show. Apples to Apples.
Yes. It is the light version of Cards Against Humanity.
Well, inspired Cards Against Humanity. Yeah, Apples to Apples is really fun when you have a good group of people and you understand each other's senses of humor. And I'll never forget this. This happened during my Disney college program. Shout out to you guys, if any of you are watching this. But the word was something... It was either boring or something equate to that. And somebody handed me the pro wrestling card. And we almost got into a fist fight. No, not that intense. But I was like, who did it? Who did it? Who's the asshole?
The question was, what is my superpower? And somebody handed me a card that says "Getting in her pants politely,"
Cards Against
and I was
Humanity.
just like, "You
Yeah.
son of a bitch."
Well, at least you asked. Categories. That's actually something I want to stream because there's online versions of it that you can play. So all we would need is either a piece of paper in your hand or your your word processor, which I think is what I use. I think I just had a word processor and I just listed the numbers, and then I had the screen over here which had the categories, and I just listed everything. But categories is a lot of fun when you get a good group of people together.
I don't think I've ever played it.
So there's 12 categories.
Mm-hmm.
And then you roll a die that has letters on it, and you have to come up with something for each category that starts with that letter. So if you roll A and you get fruit, you can say apple. But if anybody puts the same answer as you, nobody gets a point. So let's say the thing is boy's name, and the letter is G. So I say George, you say Gary, but then, so I get a point because nobody else said George, and then you say Gary, you get a point, and then somebody says Greg, but then somebody else says Greg, they don't get a point. So this part of the strategy is to think of something, but then also think of something that nobody else is going to think of. And that's what's funny is like, a lot of the times the most common possible answer doesn't come up because everybody's like, everybody else is going to put that, I'm going to put this, and then everybody comes up with the same thing. So I don't remember, I don't think we streamed this. I want to do some streams with this in the future, but we were playing categories one night in lieu of Among Us with the Among Us crew, and shout out to Janny Jackpot, the hardest I've ever heard him laugh in my life, and I wish I remember what it was, but it was something that Hannah did. And that was the hardest I've ever heard Danny laugh in my entire life. And I remember, because then the rest of you can become judges on whether or not you're going to let that person's word count or not, or whatever. If you're, and I remember Danny goes, "No, let her have it because I haven't laughed that hard in a long time." And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Hannah gets a point. I wish I could remember what it was. I'm gonna tell this story because because my uncle, my Italian uncle, my full-blooded Italian uncle, my mom's brother, we were playing categories one night, and it was excuses for being late, and it began with the letter K. So my excuse was kinda got lost, and they let me have it, and he didn't like that. His answer was kinky sex. That's why he was late. And he goes, if he kinda got lost, then you're giving this to me.
I feel like I'd get along with your uncle.
Full-blooded Italians, man. Also, when it comes to family resemblance, I look exactly like him, so. As he has once told me, that is where the good looks came from. As he has flat out told me that. Yeah, my mom's smart-ass brother. I hope he's watching this, too. Mom, send him this video. He'll like it. Catchphrase. That's the one where you're trying to guess the word, but you can't use the common words. I think that's... No, that's taboo. Catchphrase is... I've played it. It's about guessing words. Taboo's on here, too. I've played those. Speak Out. Haven't played that. Password. That's a popular game from... That was a game show. There's Mad Gab, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know what Password is.
Yeah. And then the last part of the list are adult board games. First one, of course, is Trivial Pursuit, which is... depends on what version you're playing, I think.
Yeah, they get outdated rather quickly.
Well, I have one that was specifically about 90s trivia, and I thought I was going to excel at that. And then I realized I don't know shit about the 90s. I know pop culture, but it's like historical events. I'm like, oh. My favorite question in 90s Trivial Pursuit, we had a huge laugh about this when we were playing. It was, this California resident received death threats in the mail over the negative effects of El Nino. And I'm thinking like who's like a celebrity that would live in California that might be weather associated? I'm thinking like Al Gore, the man bear pig joke. I'm like, and my sister's laughing. And she goes, "You're going to really laugh when I tell you who it is." And I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be somebody I know. No, the answer was a guy named Al Nino was getting threats over El Nino. And I never forgot that. I'm like, that is the who the hell would have known that?
He's not a celebrity.
My favorite was a Family Guy Trivial Pursuit. Like, what element's the heaviest? And Brian's like, cadmium? Peter's like, no, it's tungsten, you dumbass. Okay, my turn. What color's a fire truck? Ah, oh, geez, Lois. Brian's like, what the hell are you doing? Oh, I switched Peter's answers with the kindergarten version to make him feel smart. That's when Peter discovers he's mentally challenged. Because he takes the Stevenson grant. Not Stevenson. The MacArthur. He goes for the MacArthur grant.
What episode was this?
The episode is called Petarded.
Oh my
and it
God.
might be the best episode of Family Guy ever. Because then he thinks he can get away with anything. That was when Family Guy peaked.
I love the little sing-alongs that they did between like Stewie and Brian.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I haven't heard of any of these other games, but the other one on the list is, of course, Cards Against Humanity, which we have played and had such a good time with. Every time we played that, because remember that we used to play that at my house all the time?
All the time.
There were like 12 of us in the living room. Perry and Lily were like jumping between us. That's how you guys all got acclimated with my cats. And then I just remember like Paul or Matt Randall just like wheeze laughing at the ridiculous stuff we came up with.
Because they were always so terrible that they were funny.
Or we would just hand Katie cards to just make her say stuff out loud.
Oh,
it was funny to hear her read inappropriate words.
You could always tell when it was a good card too, because her face would light up like a stoplight. It would just be like red. Like, yep, this is gonna be a good one.
My favorite was, what does it mean when the card's like holofoil? I'm like, that means I know exactly what card that is because there's only one that has that. So way to blow that one. That game's so much fun. I wish I could play. Okay, so there was on the old Google Hangouts, they did have a Cards Against Humanity app that you could play. If we can find that again and play that online, we need to do that, and we need to stream that.
Is it still a thing? We should look it up. Well, I mean, we got a computer right in front of us.
I think we should. And while we're doing that, we're gonna return to part 2 of Would You Date Us?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got way more questions. We didn't even scratch the surface. And I apologize to everybody for the last week's video. The last 20 minutes for some reason didn't upload and the video cut off. I have re-uploaded the full version. I had to upload the raw version, so it's kind of awkward. Like, we kind of start with me doing this because I'm switching back and forth between the controls on this monitor and the webcam on this monitor. But you got the video in its entirety, so I do apologize. I figured out the problem, and it will not happen again. Scout's honor. Scout's honor. Wait, no. Scout, yeah, there we go. Scout's honor. So yeah, we should play Cards Against Humanity online. While you're looking that up, Eric, I'm going to start asking a few more of these dating questions. Let's see. So we determined from last week, so far nobody would date us. Although, to be fair, it was all guys that answered. So, you're lost, gentlemen. I'm just saying. It's your loss.
All right, well,
we'll find it.
Yeah.
I know it's got to be out there. And okay, so which reality TV show is your guilty pleasure, Eric?
I don't know if I have like. Oh no, I do have some reality TV shows, but they're all.
Yeah, don't lie.
They're
We all do.
like kitchen nightmares and shit like that. They're all the cooking ones.
Yeah, no. You watch Chopped?
I think
Wars
Chopped
and
is one
stuff
of the
like that.
few ones I don't watch.
Or like Cupcake Wars, or so who's your go-to? Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay is normally like because he's always, if it's him and the like the kids, he's like the nicest fucking person on the planet.
That's the best part, right? Because he's not calling them the C word.
Right.
But
And
if you're an
then
adult,
if you're an adult, oh my god.
all
I
bets
don't
are
think
off.
I've ever had my head between two pieces of bread being called an idiot sandwich. Like, holy shit. Is he for real? This can't be a real person.
You better have a spine if you're going to go on that show, because okay, so my guilty reality shows were the wrestling ones, where they would actually do the behind the scenes stuff. Those were my guilty pleasures. Tough Enough, which was on MTV originally, where they would bring in a bunch of recruits and teach them how to be wrestlers, and then they got to appear on TV. The first winner was a kid named Maven, and he eliminated the Undertaker in the Royal Rumble match. Drop kicked him, and Undertaker went out. The place went nuts because, like, here, this rookie just eliminated the Undertaker, and Taker's standing there like. And then he gets back in the ring and just beats the kid to a bloody pulp. Throws him through a popcorn machine, takes a big handful of it, and eats it. The kid's laying there with blood smeared all over his face. And I'm like, that's classic. And then, guilty pleasure, the Divas got the reality shows on the E! Network, Total Divas. And I enjoyed it because I liked the behind-the-scenes stuff. And to be fair, some of their lives were actually really interesting. Where they messed up was they did a whole show based on the Bella twins. And nothing against Nikki and Brie, because I do like them as people. But their brother's an annoying idiot, and their mother is just the worst. So it's like, oh, well, now they are characters on the show. Well, I don't want to watch this anymore. But I always love the contrast of their lifestyle because Brie, Bella, they're twins, right? The Bella twins. Mm-hmm. Brie married Bryan Danielson, one of the best wrestlers on the planet, as far as technical wrestling goes. He's like a Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, like the guy who could really wrestle and gets it. And you know, he's a vegan, he's an environmentalist. They had a nice, really small, modest home, like a really small home. Like, even though they're multimillionaires working for WWE, and he would compost and they'd grow plants and everything. That was their lifestyle. Well, Nikki, the bougie one, was engaged to John Cena, who lives in a McMansion. So it's like a pearly, like the bedroom's like sparkling white. He's got a wine cellar. He's got, everything's immaculate. He's got a friggin' cigar room where like he'll go in there with wearing a full suit and just smoke cigars. I'm like, that's the most perfect clash of twin personality ever. And Brie was always the natural beauty and actually picked up how to wrestle, and Nikki was the one that became the bigger star and also got bigger enhancements. So that should tell you everything you need to know about these twins. But so yeah, those are my guilty pleasure reality shows. And I mean, they're not really reality shows, they're more kind of like game shows, but like the old school Nickelodeon stuff. I'm still a sucker for that.
Okay, yeah, like Family Double Dare and stuff.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Yeah.
All right, which actor is overrated according to you? An overrated actor.
Oof.
You ready to light up the comment section?
We're going just. I'm gonna go new school.
Okay.
And it's gonna sound like I hate the guy, and I don't, because I actually do like him. But I think he's a little overrated for what people give him like credit for, and that's okay. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt.
I could agree with that, yeah. Because
I love him in Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah, it's not that he's a bad actor, but he kind of blew up and was in everything for a while, and then you're just like, all right, I get it. He's Andy, he's Star-Lord, he's Emmett in the Lego movie. Now he's doing these serious roles like Jurassic World and the one with Jennifer Lawrence where they're on the spaceship. And I'm just like, oh, no, I get that, because do you ever see the thing where somebody, instead of Charlie's Angels, they wanted Charlie's Chris's? And it was Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, and Chris Pine teaming up to take out Chris Pratt?
I have not.
It's a meme. And as a Chris, I approve. I want this. I never knew I wanted this. So
But yeah, no, I think he's my like okay, he's definitely overrated. Like he's great.
I agree.
I feel like he's better in his comedic roles
Yeah.
than the serious roles.
But I agree. I can see how he would be an overrated. You're not saying he's a bad actor. You're saying he's an overrated actor, and there's a difference.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're Tophers or not. If they're all Christophers, I'd have to look that one up. You can be a Christopher or a Christian or Christoph. You're still part of the Chris Club. All Chris's are welcome. You can spell it with a K if you want to, like Christopher Hivju, who plays Tormund Giantsbane on Game of Thrones. He can be in the
Chris
club.
from Orlando.
Chris from Orlando. Fuck that
or
guy.
Chris from Orlando. Or this Chris from Orlando.
This Chris from Orlando. This one's female. Yes. Christinas are welcome. Christines, Christies, Chrissies. Chrissy, wake up! Chrissy, wake up! I don't like this!
Names were meant to be very unique so you could identify somebody, but like Chris is so fucking generic. No offense, Chris.
No, but that's the point, right? That was why Chris from Orlando, Florida worked. It's a gender-neutral name. It could be short for anything. And Orlando, Florida is the most basic-ass city you can be from. So, because you're already there.
Right.
I like watching your kitties bathe each other. It's so cute. So cute. And we're done. Okay.
Look at that. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, that's all members of the Chris Club. I mean, the Eric Club is there's C, there's K, and then there's CK.
Yeah, and it's just I'm okay with C, I'm okay with K, but CK
is that where you draw the line?
Double down the fucking
That's
line.
where you draw the line. Too many consonants.
This is very strong, man. That's
all right. So this is funny. I'm gonna tell the story.
You know, it's just okay. Continue.
I'm gonna tell the story because I thought it would be really funny. So shout out to. Actually, I don't know if they want their name mentioned for this because we were joking about it, but a shout out to a friend of mine who did one of those. Like your soulmate begins with this letter of the alphabet. Her husband's name begins with the letter E. When she did it, she got the letter C. So of course she tells me this and she goes, I guess you're my soulmate. And I'm like, well, C can stand for anything, but sure, we'll go with that. I said, ooh, give me the link. I want to do it because I want to get E. So I get Eric, and then we can laugh about that. You know what I got?
What'd you get?
C. So I am my own soulmate. I'm like, well, that stands for Chris. Stand for a lot of things, but I am my own soulmate. So yes, that could be the title of the episode, just to confuse everybody. I am my own soulmate. Like, what the hell are you talking? They're talking about board games. What the? Nah.
This is how we go off. We go off topic a lot.
We're excellent at that, by the way.
Yes.
All right. Where were we? Okay. Oh, actor overrated. I didn't give one. So this is another one, kind of the same vein as you. Kevin Hart right now. He's in everything, but it's always the same joke. He's short. We get it. He's short. Why is that the only material they can come up with for him? I'm not saying he's not funny, but it's the same material. And a lot of his stand-up routine to me always just felt like I was watching a Chris Rock routine. I'm like, he's angry like Chris Rock. He's making the same jokes, but instead of black jokes, they're short jokes. Is that the only difference? Otherwise, it's the same thing. And then he got cast in everything, and it's because he's friends with The Rock, so they do everything together. Now, I know a lot of people think The Rock's an overrated actor, and I can understand that too, but
I think he's an underrated actor.
I think he's got way more range than people give him credit for. I think the problem is he's always in the same roles. And that's not necessarily his fault. Whereas Kevin Hart does a lot of different stuff.
Favorite role?
Of The Rock?
Yeah.
Ooh, probably Maui.
Yes! Thank
probably
you!
Maui.
Thank you!
Because he was
great
great.
In that.
He was great. Great movie, too.
I agree with you on that one. Yeah, he was great as Maui.
If you haven't actually watched The Rundown, his first major movie.
Yeah, he was good in that,
Sean
too.
William Scott. And, well, this is for anybody who's never seen it. Sean William Scott's and Christopher Walken's the villain. And what a great movie. And then, he's got other stuff. I liked the comedy one he did, The Game Plan, because he did, like, the serious football movie, and he did the funny one with the little girl. I'm like, that was actually entertaining. That was a Disney movie.
Was it?
Yeah. And like, and then I watched stuff like San Andreas and Rampage because he was in it. And he's a good action movie star, but he does have good comedy range. And anybody who ever watched him in a wrestling ring knows he can do comedy. That's how he became so popular. He was funny as hell. Still is. Okay, here we go. What is something you are dying to try but haven't tried till now? Ah. Okay, well, maybe we haven't necessarily tried it, but what is something you're actually really dying to do, Eric? Like a
Anal. I was kidding. There it is.
I would have reacted harder if you hadn't already used that joke before.
I know.
But now wait, giving or receiving?
I'm at that age. All right, let's see.
Good God. Thanks for having us, YouTube. We're canceled. Oh my God.
Something that I haven't tried, but that I want to.
You want to hear mine first?
Sure.
Skydiving.
Retiring? Skydiving. Okay.
I want to do it because I have a feeling I have a very bad fear of heights, and I have a feeling if I sucked it up and went skydiving, I would conquer it in one day.
Okay, mine's not going to be G-rated. It's definitely not going to be G-rated. And it's going to sound terrible. And I'm not saying that I want to be
involve 3 people.
No.
Okay, not that.
No. It's from all the comedians that I've heard it from, it's made me want to experience it at least once. That's acid.
All right, fair enough. Do it in a safe location.
Yeah, well, I mean, when Lewis Black
speaking of brilliant voice casting, Lewis Black in Inside Out as Anger.
Oh my God, perfect. And I don't know, they literally described it in a way where it's just like, I didn't want to try it, but I kind of want to try it. But I'll wait until I retire because apparently it's just like, 15 years later and you'll fucking get a hit of it again because it stays in your system. And I'm just like, nah, I think I'm too young. But if I'm 70, that'd be fucking wild.
Let's see. What kind of car do you drive?
I don't.
Yeah, you got a bike.
Yeah,
we just talked
I
about that
got an
last
electric
week.
bike just for that.
Yeah.
I got an electric bike not because I don't like cars. I do like cars, and I wish I get like a Tesla or an electric car or something like that at this point. But I don't like the fact that every year I gotta give the government money for on my birthday just to register it. Like, what are you doing with that money? Why does it cost so much to register it? Can't you just go into the computer and hit enter, go to where this?
You can. They're not going to, but
$120 just for me to come in here and say, yep, still have that car. Yep, still live in the same place. Thank you. Here's my money. I don't know. I got tired of that.
So do you know my car history? There's 4 of them. Corolla, Jeep, Corolla. That's exactly how it's gone. I have a theme, I guess. I had my light blue Corolla.
Okay.
Then I had my red Jeep, then I had my silver Jeep, and now I've got my dark blue Corolla. Not a lot of variety there. I know, I love my car. But the lease is up at the end of the year. Do I trade it in and get a 2023? Or do I buy it?
You do not buy it. Because the cars right now are overpriced. And they will not give it to you at a discount. If they give it to you at a discount, then you buy it.
Okay. Well, only one way to find out.
Yeah.
And that will be to ask. Because that will be December. I have to make that decision. So, and we're about to lose August. Fall's coming. Halloween hype, baby. But yeah, there's 4 months left in the year. This is when all the decisions have to be made. So, crap. Have you ever trolled a celebrity on social media?
No. I have messaged a company before, but not a celebrity.
I got blocked by pro wrestler John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL, because he was bullying announcer Mauro Ranallo, who has mental health issues. And I asked him why he was doing that and if he felt like a piece of shit, and his response was to block me. So I wouldn't call that trolling, but no, I don't do the social media trolling because I'm in my 30s. I don't think I need to explain that any further. Now I actually try to be active and entertaining on social media.
I had a Twitter, and I don't remember what the name of it was before I really cared. And I shouted out at Nike, the company, and I was like, all right, I just did it and I'm being chased by the cops. Now what? And that's all.
That's funny. I have a John Cena follows me on Twitter, so I guess I'm famous.
Nice.
Well, I mean, he follows several thousand accounts, but he's followed by millions. So it's cool to be on the one side of that. And it only happened because I retweet him a lot because he actually posts like inspirational quotes that I think are cool. Mindy Kaling follows me. I don't know how the hell that one happened because I don't remember like tweeting about Mindy Kaling. Maybe I said something about The Office, and all of a sudden,
Mindy Kaling's pretty like.
And all of a sudden, I was like, where did that come from? So, there's other famous wrestlers that follow me. Katrina from Lucha Underground, Conan. Like, I know some people may not know who those people are. Parker Bodor, who's now in AEW. Those aren't like really famous people in the wrestling world. They are, but I'm talking about like the famous people that actually follow me. And I remember when I saw John Cena followed me, I'm like, okay, that's actually cool. Like, I'll geek out over that one. The Mindy Kaling thing, I don't think I geeked out over because I didn't understand it. I was like, where did that come from? Why is she following me? What did I do? Well, now I have to.
You just liked her status, and then that was it.
That's it. That's all it takes. Well, I think because I was retweeting Cena so much, he must have just saw the name and decided to follow me. So, but yeah, so John, if you're reading my tweets, I will try to not be shitty on Twitter. Twitter is where I do all of my social media ranting. If I have to vent something, I go to Twitter and do it. I don't do it on Facebook anymore because I find that to be the most annoying place to do it. And my Facebook circle is like actually people I know and like. Whereas Twitter, anybody can follow you, so I don't really care who sees that. So, I don't know. I'm weird about socials. We got a good one here. Are you a pet parent? Jesus Christ. Well, we just talked about that. We each got 3 of them in the house. Between the 2 of us, there's 5 cats and a dog. So yes, that would be a yes. What is your worst party experience?
Oof. Okay. I gotta reference this as started off at a club.
Okay.
This girl gets a drink that she didn't want, but I was already kind of drunk, so I drank it. I was like, well, if you don't want to drink it, I'll drink it. And she was like, all right, here. So I drank it. I got roofied.
Oh my God.
And I woke up at a friend's house and just like, you all right, man? Like, yeah. And I was just like, what happened? Like, I think you got roofied, dude. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't know I was that cute. He's just like, I don't think it was for you. And I was like, thanks for bursting my ego.
Hey, thanks to you, you may have saved a life.
I did. Yeah.
So let's actually turn that into a positive. This isn't a party per se, but cause I can't think of like a bad party experience, but I definitely had a bad club experience. And one of the reasons I ended up hating clubs was because I was at the time dating a girl who really liked going to clubs. And one day she decided to bring her ex-boyfriend with us, and they got back together. And they were my ride home. And ever since that moment, hated clubs because I associated them with her. I still hate them to this day. Now I hate them because I'm an old man and
loud music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a very negative experience, and that was not the worst breakup I ever went through, but a pretty bad one. That was one of those I was in bed the whole next day because I was just upset and miserable and like, how could she do this to me? And then I got over it pretty quickly and went into the anger phase. And
So speaking of breakups, we'll talk about breakups for a little bit.
oh boy,
I know. So
must we?
at what point? Because I think this happens to the best of us, right? The first breakup is always like the worst, right?
Because the first time you experience it.
Yeah. And it's just like it's heart shattering. You put up walls so it doesn't happen again.
Right.
The next breakup happens, but then there's a particular breakup that happens where it just like they moved on too fast, so fast that it makes you question yourself if they even cared at all
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Preaching to the choir on that one.
And then from that moment on, correct me if I'm wrong, from that moment on, every breakup after hasn't been as doesn't hit as hard. And it's just kind of like, oh, this is over. Well, that sucks. I guess I'll download Tinder. Like it's never ever that devastating again. And I'm wondering if you think deep down inside yourself you have this wall where it won't allow you to get that attached to someone again.
I can agree with that. Okay, so that hasn't happened to me as far as dating goes, but it's happened to me through friendships. I won't say any names because there's a chance they might be watching this. Um, two very very close friendships that I've actually one I actually severed this year. Um, they actually were the one who officially ended the friendship, but I felt relieved when it happened. We were friends for 25 years. And it got to the point where they just. I don't even want to say the specifics because they might know who I'm talking about.
Hold on, I'm gonna text you. I want to see if I can guess.
Okay. It's not a girl, first off. So if you're guessing girl, you're wrong.
Just look at your phone.
All right, I'll look at my damn phone. Here, look. Here. I'm looking at the phone. First of
All
all,
right.
I don't have a text from you. Yes, I do. No, actually, no. But
Oh.
associated with that person.
Oh, okay.
Yes. In fact, that's actually how I knew that person through this person.
Okay.
Same reason, actually. Same reason they ended the friendship because they just. I called out people being pieces of shits to other people, and two people unfriended me and ended our friendship over that accusation, which makes me think that they like being pieces of shits. And it didn't hit that hard. Despite the fact that it was a 25-year friendship, it didn't hit that hard, and here's why. I had another friendship that had been a long time lasting that got severed that actually did hurt because this person basically pulled a betrayal card and took a girl from me. Took a girl that I was interested in and took her from me. Now, it later turned out that she was just manipulating all of us to get what she wanted. She was the piece of shit. And we all collectively told her off, and now I don't know where the fuck she is and don't give a shit. I was laughing because we have a group right now trying to assemble our high school reunion, and they post a list of all the people in the class that like don't have social media or people aren't in touch with to see like who knows who so we can reach out to them. And the list was getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and her name's on it. And somebody messages me and goes, "Hey, you guys were friends. Do you still talk?" Nope. Nope. I don't give a fuck where she is. Because here's the thing, Eric, and I'm gonna say this for everybody. Because as I get older, my friendship circle gets smaller. And I'm very careful about the friends I choose. But I'm very big on giving second chances. Third chances. I probably give more chances than people probably deserve. And if I care about somebody, I'm going to try to hold on to that friendship, especially now. And I fight for friendships to keep them. Even if they've done something to hurt me, if I feel like we can get past it and redeem it, and I can move on from it, I'll still try to keep the friendship going. But once I'm done, this is especially true now that I'm getting older, once I'm done, I've hit that breaking point, we've tried and tried again, and I just can't take it anymore, Once I cut it, it's a literal it's done. And once you're out of there, I'm sorry, but I call it the lottery list. I have a list on my computer right now. I can even show it to you. I'm not going to make it public because I don't want people to know if they're on it or not. It's an actual list of names of people in my life that if I won the lottery, I would share the money with. Because I would. If I won a healthy sum in the lottery, I've done the calculation. $10 million would set me up for the rest of my life. So if I won more than that, I'd give the rest of it away. I'd donate it to charity, but I'd also give it to friends and family. And I have a list of people who would get a sum of it. And that list gets smaller and smaller and smaller every year. But I have it. I still have it. It's the lottery list. And who would get it and who wouldn't. And I've erased some of these people off and once you're off the lottery list, you're off the lottery list. Even if these people decided they didn't want to be pieces of shits anymore and came back and were like, oh, hey, I'm really sorry about that. Let's at least be cordial again. Okay, great. You ain't on the lottery list anymore. You're off. And once you're off the lottery list, you're off. And it just keeps getting smaller, which is good for the people on it because you get a larger chunk of the sum now because it's not being split among so many people. So...
Yes, sever those ties, sever them.
But there's a stipulation that's going to come with that if I ever do win the lottery and give you a sum of money. You are not allowed to reveal that I won the lottery, and you are not allowed to reveal where you got the money.
I won't tell a fucking soul as I walk around with my monocle.
Do you ever see the thing where it's like I won't tell anybody I won the lottery, but there'll be hints, and then it's like there's like a Millennium Falcon parked in their driveway, like a full-size scale Millennium Falcon. I'm like, there it is, right there.
I've already shared with you my retirement plan and how long it would take to get there. And 10 years is all I need.
Yep, you got it. You're helping me.
Hi, Kieran.
You're helping me on one of those plans. So, all right. But yes, as far as answering the question, that was it wasn't the whole party experience led to the downfall of. Because one of the other questions on here is, do you still talk to your ex? And the answer is no. I have no exes I'm still in touch with.
Holy shit, you're right. I don't. There's not a single ex. I'm still friends with a few like on Facebook. That's
I'm not
because I
counting
haven't.
that.
Yeah, but I don't talk to them.
Exactly. Nope. You're out. You're out. Have you ever gotten into a fight over a girl? Well, I just told that story, so yes.
Yeah.
So that happened. Severed a friendship over that, but he also was being scummy, so helped the future stings better. And that was another very long-term friendship, but, you know, it is what it is. You're off the lottery list. Bye. Okay, this is going to be a good one.
Hold on, before we move on to the next one.
Oh, God.
So the fight entailed, like, I wanted to kick this guy's ass until he said this. And then I realized that it was her and she was a piece of shit. Whoa. She told me you guys broke up. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Buddy, happened to me too. Except I was the one who almost got the ass kicked. I was lied to, manipulated. Tell that story someday. We might have to do a bonus content for Patreon and actually reveal some of these stories. We're gonna make you guys pay for those
with names and pictures and everything.
Oh. It's hidden behind a paywall, so the only way they can find out is to pay to figure out if we're talking about them.
I know. I'll gladly take your money anyway.
We just got new patron content. Patrons, you're welcome. Here we go, Eric. What's a topic you can discuss for hours without getting tired or bored? Oh my God. Where do I begin?
Let's start with the Kama Sutra.
Should I tell that story? I haven't told it on this forum, have I?
No. Go watch the Nerd Table.
Yeah, go back.
Watch the Nerd Table. Listen to the Nerd Table.
Yeah, go back and listen to that.
Um, I feel like just video games and anime in general,
Star
or
Wars, Simpsons,
techie stuff,
yeah, video
tech
games,
stuff,
computer stuff.
right?
Um,
I guarantee you, if they ever came out
Movie
with like holographic
debates.
projectors and shit, I would not shut the fuck up about it
Just
until I
give
had
me
one.
give me a good nerd topic debate and we'll go.
Yeah.
Or a good philosophical debate like are we alone in the universe? Dude, all right, settle in cuz I got theories.
All right.
Settle in. I
The
that could
answer
that
is no, we're not alone, but
Yep,
the
that's it.
long stories.
Long story short. No, honestly, that could be a whole episode topic too. Yeah, like anything nerd or techie related. Wrestling, obviously. Yeah, anything like that. Talk about the '90s for God's sake. Disney, talk about that for hours. So there you go. All right. Oh my God, where were we? I'm scrolling up too fast. I keep losing my position on here. What's your favorite restaurant in your area? There you go. That's a good one.
In my area,
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Pandemic kind of fucking ruined that for me.
Why did it shut your favorite restaurant down?
No, it's just like, well, I don't really go out to restaurants anymore. Like,
Okay.
honestly, I've been visiting a lot of these Coney Island places. They've been pretty decent, but they're all like family run and whatnot.
Okay.
Um,
That counts.
but
All right.
I also order a lot of stuff from DoorDash. So I would have to say either Steak and Shake, because the burger quality for Steak and Shake has improved drastically,
Mhm.
or like Denny's.
Okay. Because you can get anything all times a day.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Well, all right. Well, let's break it down a little bit. Favorite fast food place?
Panda?
Taco Bell.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite chain sit down style restaurant?
Panda? No, all right, no. um, Red Lobster.
Red Robin.
Okay.
Favorite pizza place? Local or chain, whatever.
Local, there's a place called NYPD Pizza. They made pretty decent New York style pizzas.
Uncommon Pizza in Lidditz, and to my one coworker who grunts every time I say the name, it's my favorite. Shut up. She's not watching this. Actually, she might be. I have no idea. Every time I mention that place, she goes, ugh. She goes, I don't like them. I didn't ask you. I didn't
More pizza
ask.
for me.
More pizza for me, exactly. And then, favorite, like local in general place, like something exclusive to your area that you can't get anywhere else.
Uh, there's an Amos. It's kind of like they serve euros there.
Okay.
I like
Ooh,
that
I haven't had
place.
a good Euro in a long time. Okay. Mine is the Night and Day Diner.
Night and Day Diner was it just got like breakfast food, like an
Well, it's
IHOP.
got everything.
Okay.
It's a diner, so it's got everything. But I go there for pancakes at 10 o'clock at night because sometimes you want pancakes at 10 o'clock at night. So go to a diner that's open 24 hours a day. Get your pancakes, Betty. Because nothing beats a dinner plate sized pancake. That is the best. Any time of day. What's the most special gift you've ever given to a woman? Myself. Oh, come on. You're not going to pop for that? That was funny line. You know it.
It was funny. It
Okay.
was funny.
Whatever.
Um, engagement ring. I mean,
There you
like
go.
we've been engaged forever though.
I'm all about like thoughtful DIY stuff that incorporates your relationship. And I remember I got I got the wife something that I picked up at like a craft store, but it was like an alphabet of the ways I love you or something like that. And I just filled it out, and she cried when she read it. So that one always stuck out in my head. It wasn't an expensive thing. It was a personal thing. And to me, that's more important than like
the cost of something.
Yeah, I don't care about it would be like when my niece and nephew draw me pictures. That's more important to me than them ever like getting a job when they're older and buying me a gift. You know what I mean? I like that they drew me a picture. That's special. That takes time and effort. Buying something could be as simple as going on Amazon, going click. You know? They sat down and drew me a picture. That's cool. So that's cool to me. So yeah, what about for you? Anybody ever give you something really important or special that stand out in your head?
I'm not a big gift person. I can't think of anything off the top of my head to be honest.
Okay. Is that really a relationship thing? Because it wasn't like a partner that gave it to me, but a really cool gift that I do have actually came from my sister. She got me a framed photo of Paul O'Neill's last ever at bat for the New York Yankees, because he's one of my favorite players. And like, to me, that's just a really cool thing, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she printed the photo herself and made the frame herself. It doesn't matter. She got that as a thoughtful gift, personal for me.
And to her, it was probably the same as like when Leonard Nimoy came into the restaurant and Penny got it for Sheldon.
Yeah. Oh, it's a napkin. Yeah, but it's Leonard Nimoy's napkin. Like, holy shit. Okay, so I have a chunk of the wrestler Jeff Jarrett. I have a chunk of his guitar because he smashed somebody over the head with it. The wood shattered, and I grabbed a piece. It's literally a piece of shattered wood, but it has value to it because it came from a wrestler at a show I was at, front row. So I kept it, and I wrote on the back the name of Jeff Jarrett, and I wrote the date of the show because I knew I wasn't going to remember, because I don't remember now unless I grab it and look at it. God, I don't remember anything. It's a problem, damn it. I still got a little bit of time. Let's do a few more of these. Some of these are too a little too personal. They're just, I mean, again, this is just like you're supposed to ask the guy on the date. All right, have you ever traveled outside the country, and how many countries have you been to? I know my number. It's not a big number, but I'm proud of where I have been.
2 by accident.
What?
Yes. Both by accident.
Okay.
Canada, because fuck the highway system up here. So I made it to Canada just to turn around. I got the enhanced license or whatever, so they let me in, and I figured it's easier to just go through
the real ID
and come back. We got like an enhanced ID that we can use to go back and forth to Canada, since we're like right fucking there.
Okay, that makes sense. I love
Canada.
And
then the other one was Mexico, so also by accident, because fuck the highway system in Texas.
Okay.
That one was more deliberate. We were actually going what's the name of that city that's right at the border?
Eric, you're one of the only people I know who could end up in another country by accident. Not many people can actually pull that off, so I'm impressed, I will say.
Well, okay. So by accident, I didn't get lost going to Canada, right? Like, it was like nobody would let me over to exit. And we were traveling at a speed where slowing down more would cause an accident behind me, 100%. So I just went to Canada. The Mexico thing, I was not driving. I was with my friend. And we were going to, there's a little city that is part of Texas and Mexico at the same time.
Okay.
And we're just going to check it out, and we just kept driving, and eventually we're just like, "Is that? Yep, that's Border Patrol. We're we're in Mexico, aren't we? Yeah, okay."
Yeah, we don't want to be here. Can we just leave? Is that okay?
Well, so I traveled from the Lackland Air Force Base, right? Because that's where he was stationed at, and he was just showing me around. He wanted me to like see all these cool places, and he didn't remember how to get to that particular place. Why we didn't use Google Maps, I don't know. We just didn't. I think Google Maps wasn't really a thing yet. It was like, fuck me, man.
Did
Like
you go to
2005.
MapQuest and print out the directions?
It was one of the. It was
That's
around that
awesome.
time, if
Yes.
era, dude. It was like 2000. It was before I started working for Disney. So it was like 2005, 2006.
Yeah, that would have been the MapQuest
Somewhere.
era. Yep, I remember that. All right, so I have actually been to Canada on purpose.
Hmm.
We went to Niagara Falls as a trip, and we went into Toronto. Toronto's a really nice city. I want to go back. So that was like the first country I'd been to. And then in the summer of '07, I did a study abroad program and lived in France for half the summer. That was a lot of fun. And while we were there, we did some traveling. So we went to Italy. We went to Vatican City and Monaco, which count. I count them. And we went up through Belgium to get to the Netherlands so we could go to Amsterdam. So it hasn't been a lot, but it's been fun. And here's the thing. I want to say this, guys. Every time I mention Amsterdam, people are like, "Oh, you've been to Amsterdam?" Like, look, I know what it's known for. It's a really gorgeous city.
Oh yeah, because
Go
the
there.
crime rate's got to be really low. Because I mean,
Well,
just about everything's legal.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I did see a guy blowing coke off of a dumpster, but that's besides the
His
point.
choice.
That's besides the point. So yeah, so that was really cool. The study abroad program was really cool to like. It humbles you as a person because now you're the foreigner in the country and you don't speak the language. I remember like I would just go out for a walk and be like, it's crazy how I can't communicate to any of these people unless they actually can speak English because I had like very very rudimentary French knowledge, so I could survive. But if something happened to me, we would have an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, oh my god, it's a great experience, and I would recommend that to anybody. Honestly, at some point in your life, just travel to a foreign country and just do it. Like, just try it. Especially one where you're not going to know the language. It'll make you appreciate what people go through when they come here a lot more. And that's why I think that helped a lot of like the non-English speaking tolerance on that Disney level, which obviously we know could get very frustrating and everything. I would just remember that experience for me and be like, well, they're in this country, they don't speak the language. I'm going to try to help them. And I think that really helped me a lot as just as a person, just growing as a person. Italy was even worse because when we were in France, a lot of the students were French, like French majors. So they could speak the language and help communicate for us. We went to Italy, nobody had any real Italian knowledge. I mean, all I knew were swear words from my mother. That wasn't going to get me that far in Italy, right?
Might get you in trouble in Italy. That's for sure.
Vaffanculo. But in fact, but the other thing was Amsterdam wasn't hard to survive because 80% of the country speaks English. A lot of the signage is in Dutch, but you can talk to a lot of people there. So yeah, you just got to.
Well, now you got the translator where you can like literally hover it over a sign.
Yep.
And it'll translate the sign and everything. And you could talk to your phone, and your phone will speak the language. And then your phone will listen in on the conversation and translate it to you. It's fucking great.
So funny story from work. We were talking about trucking oversized permits, which we don't actually do, but so like we have to like recommend that out to people if they call. And my boss was telling me about the time he saw an oversized permit carrying one of those wind turbines from like those giant windmills that you see. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of the giant windmills we saw when we were going through Belgium, because they're huge. They don't look that big, but when you get close to them, you realize that these things are massive. Massive, massive. And I'm telling the story. I'm like, yeah, it happened when I was in Europe in Belarus. And my supervisor was there too. And she snaps to attention. She goes, "You were in Belarus?" I was like, "Oh shit, I meant Belgium." She's from Belarus. So I got it messed up. So we had a laugh about that. I'm like, no, I've never been to Belarus. Belgium. That's the country I'm looking for. Other side of Europe. Completely other side of Europe, yes. She's like, I was going to say. I'm like, I'm sure you have lovely wind turbines in Belarus, but that is not where I was. So sorry. Messed that one up. Have you ever been friend-zoned?
What?
Have you ever been friend-zoned is the next question.
Oh my God. Yes. Fucking story of my life.
Next. Have you ever asked your friend to call and bail you out during a date?
Yes.
Really? That's never actually happened to me.
You've never done it?
I haven't.
Because you were the one who helped me bail out of a date.
I remember that. Oh, you're just lucky I wasn't doing anything that night.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? Come pick me up, man. Hurry up, please.
What would I find you doing if you are highly stressed? That's actually an interesting question.
Okay, first off, what do you think you'd find me doing?
Probably playing a video game.
That is correct.
League of Legends, Hearthstone, Yu-Gi-Oh!
It would be something a little bit more simple. I'd probably be, I don't know, an older game. Probably like a Zelda. I'd probably be playing Zelda.
Which one?
If I was really stressed. Just a classic Link's Awakening or something.
Okay, so...
You'd be watching Big Bang Theory.
No, that wouldn't be stressed. Now, for me, it's just... the things that stress me out now, just life in general. So if you find me really stressed, it's probably because I'm going over my finances. And just going... like, over and over again.
Wait. Is this what we were doing to relieve stress?
No, it's what's causing the stress. What's causing the stress.
Oh. Yeah, no, still video games, but not Link's Awakening. Now it is definitely like League of Legends.
Probably troubleshooting some IT issue. That always stresses me out. Every 100% of the time.
Dude, I can't tell you how funny it was to play a trick on my boss, who's an IT person. She was great to work for.
It's always fun.
Absolutely great to work for. I did the simplest trick in the book. I put a piece of tape underneath the laser so her mouse would not move. That's all I did. And she was going batshit crazy. That's the end of my story.
I think this just happened this past week, actually. Come in one morning and the girl who sits up with us at the licensing counter, who's in charge of not in charge, but she's like the main like, I don't want to call her a receptionist because she's not, but for lack of a better term, for the driver training program, she's one of the main people who handles the scheduling and the test, like getting them with their instructors and everything. She's the administrator. I think that's the best way to put it. She'd be the administrator. And she sits up at the licensing counter with us. So I walk in that morning and she's like, I need help. and she's looking at the computer. I'm like, well, shit, here we go. Because everybody at work has now learned that I'm one of the guys to go to when they have computer problems. The joys of knowing about computers. So I'm like, well, what happened? She's like, all of my bookmarks disappeared. I'm like, oh, okay, it's probably a simple, like, login issue. Let's check all your settings and everything. It ended up being a simple login issue, but it wasn't the issue I thought it was. And I was flipping out because I had exhausted all of my options. I was ready to break the laptop. And then finally something just worked. And I was like, really? That was the solution this whole time?
That's typically what happens in IT. What was she using Chrome?
Yep.
Yep.
So all it took was a sign out. And she's like, well, no, I'm usually signed into another account. I said, okay, well, let's sign into that account. So we signed into it. Bookmarks still aren't there. I'm like, well, what the So I finally figured out that Chrome actually had a profile for her that she didn't know about. And when we signed into that, all of her stuff came back. And I was like, okay, well.
There you go.
Well, because my first thought is always, is it a Chrome issue or a Windows issue? Because that's going to affect how I troubleshoot this. And initially I thought it was a Windows issue because she was signed in under an account for somebody who doesn't work there anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's get rid of this account and get you up there, and that should fix the problem. And then it didn't. And I'm like, well, son of a bitch.
Yeah, for tabs, I don't even like. I asked them, "Are you using Chrome?" Yep. All right, just sign out, sign back in, and that fixes it 100% of the time. Like
Yeah.
literally. But if they tell me, "Oh no, I use like Microsoft Edge or Internet Explorer," I'm just like, "Well, those tabs are gone. They're gone forever. I can't help you."
And your first mistake. Why are you using that? Stop using that.
Like why? The company pays for access to all this shit. That's a different story though.
There was a time when I walked in at our old location, and they had like this line of people, and one of the stations wasn't even open, and they're like, we can't get the computer to work, like it won't turn on. So I'm like, okay, let's troubleshoot it. I'm like, okay, well, the computer's on. So I checked the wires, and it was the monitor wire was loose. I plugged it back in. The computer came back. And I'm like, okay, you're good. They're like, what did you do? Like, I plugged in the wire. Did you check the wires? Well,
Yep.
that was my supervisor from Belarus again. Hi, Alicia. Sorry. She always comes to me. She goes, this computer's not working. Fix it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to need a little more detail than that, but okay. Oh God, IT stuff. All right, let's get a couple.
We should end it there. I still need to take a shower and get ready for.
All right,
for
let's
tonight. One more.
How many more? Oh, there actually are quite a few left here. All right, let's see if we can just get through a couple of quick ones. Where was I? Highly stressed. Okay, what's the one thing you cannot live without? Internet. I'd rather the power go out, but I still have internet, even though I know it's not possible. Like if the power goes out, I can still use my phone.
Yeah, or I can put solar panels out and at least run a laptop or something.
But if the internet goes out, then it's just a tease.
Right?
Now I'm just staring at my
yeah,
computer.
yeah. I can't. If the internet goes out, I literally can't do anything.
Yep.
Because yes, I do have power in the house, so I can microwave something. But I can't watch TV because there goes
your streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Guess we're going to the files on the external and seeing what movies are on there, and guess I'll watch one.
I don't even have that.
All right. I found our end question. There's 3 more, and then we'd actually be on question 50. So we'll do 3 more, and then we'll wrap up. That's a good stopping point.
All right.
What's the worst dating advice you've ever received?
Just be yourself.
Yeah, that got me real far in life, didn't it?
No, honestly, that kind of is. You need to ease into being yourself.
Yeah,
that's the better advice.
That's what mine was too. And I didn't like that because if I can't be myself around somebody, I don't want to be around them.
Right.
Because I'm not putting on a fake personality for somebody. What you see is what you get with me, and I don't fake it for anybody. Maybe I used to, like back when I was like desperately single, but nowadays, if I was dating again, no, it's just gonna be, this is who I am. You don't like it? Well, I'll go find somebody who does like it. And I do that with friendships now too. Like, If something's bothering you about my personality and you don't want to be friends with me because you're a piece of shit, going back to what we talked about earlier, then goodbye. 25 years down the drain, but whatever. I don't care. Go enjoy your life. How often do you work out?
Actually, now that I have a bike,
You'll be working out a lot. Because it's electric.
No, I'm bicycling now, I guess, if you can count that as exercise.
I think so.
I will say it kind of sucked the first couple of days because of chafing. Like, because your legs are just doing this, right?
Right.
But there's a seat between your nuts now, or like between your legs, like where your nuts are. So
I
like
hope it's not between
rubbing.
them. That sounds painful.
Yeah. No, that'd be very, very painful. But like now, whenever you move your legs, you got that fabric and that friction, and it's already hot and sweaty, and it's just it's not great.
So I don't know if this is just a result of my immune system becoming overactive because I am working out. But I have attempted 2 actual regimens on my elliptical. And I was actually doing really well on them. And then each time I got to like a certain point and then I got sick. Like sick, like full on fever, sweating, aches and pains. And I don't know if that was just a result of my immune system going into overdrive or something, or being too because it happened around the same time frame each time that I did it. And I'm wondering if there's something actually wrong with my immune system.
No, I just think you were dying. That's your body telling you shouldn't be doing
out.
this.
Don't work out. Yeah. I actually have lost some weight. I know it because I feel it in my waistline. I don't see it visually, but I feel it in my waistline, which is more significant than anything else because that means you actually did lose some weight. So I know that I was making progress. And I am open, obviously, to doing more because I would like to at least slim down a little bit, if for nothing else, just to ease up the back pain that I have, because dropping weight would actually relieve some pressure there. But I'm gun shy about it because I'm tired of getting sick every time I get good at this. So I'm gonna try it again, and if I get sick again, then I'm gonna be like, okay, my body just doesn't want me to ever be healthy again. So
you just need to, when you feel like you're getting to that point, to stop.
Well, yeah, and that's what I did. Is I did stop, but then I was like gun shy about restarting again. So, if anybody's watching this and thinks there's an actual reason why that happened twice, or if there isn't a reason and it's just purely coincidental and I need to just get back on it, please tell me.
Maybe it's your seat.
I don't have a seat. It's an elliptical. You stand.
I'm thinking of the bicycle one. My bad.
I mean, I don't use it in the bike form. I use it as standing because I get the arm workout too.
Okay, I got you.
That's more significant to me because it's a cardio workout, but there's resistance too.
I don't like cardio for that exact same reason that you're describing. So whenever I do work out, it's more like weight training.
Right.
And I did lose a lot of weight when you first came down and visited me down in Florida, and I gained all that weight back when I moved to Michigan.
Awesome.
So I actually weigh more now than I ever did in Florida, and I need to like lose some weight again.
Well, somewhere in Florida, I hit my maximum weight that I've like the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Thankfully, even 8 years in PA, I've just been more active, and I haven't. I think the stress of Disney probably contributed a lot to that, but I know I haven't ever gotten that heavy again, and thankfully, because I don't ever want to be that heavy again. All right, last question for this week. Have you ever lied in a job interview?
Yes.
Has anybody ever not lied in a job interview? That's a better question. Because lying in a job interview could be just as easy as fudging the days that you worked at a place. Because I'll tell you outright. I listed one of my hotels for I worked there, then I left, and then I came back. Well, I eliminated the job in between and just listed that hotel for the entire thing.
I think, you know how they ask you if you feel comfortable and qualified to do the job at hand? I've always said yes.
What a lie that is. That is the ultimate lie, my friend. Do you feel comfortable doing this job? No, but
I'll fucking do it.
one of my favorite ones was always when people are like, why do you think you deserve this job? And it's like, no, I got a better question for you. Why is the position open?
That is true.
I've seen that before. Um, my the not the job I have now, obviously, but I went on an interview before that I was actually really confident about, and I was really really annoyed when I didn't get the job because they just go, "We've decided you're not a good fit," and I said, "But okay, can you tell me why?" And they're like, "We just don't think you're qualified to do this job," and I said, so I even wrote them back and I was like, what exactly didn't qualify me? First of all, you said this was an entry level position. So what's not qualifying me for it? And then they just like didn't want to answer. And I'm like, if it was a personality thing, tell me. If there's something about my personality, just tell me. But oh well, doesn't matter because I got a good job now, so
Yep.
screw those people.
Oh, there's Kitty.
And the kitties are back. So you guys obviously are watching this on the YouTube channel. The Twitch channel is CKCC Online. Please subscribe. Extra Life Day is coming up November 5th. I have an 8-hour stream planned this year. We're going from 4 to 8. We're doubling up. People were asking me to do 24 or 12s. I'm going to ease into it. We're going to do an 8. Also, I think I have to work that Saturday. I think if on the alternating schedule, I think that's a Saturday I would have worked anyway. And I'm probably going to have to work it anyway because I'm on vacation the previous Saturday. Either way, I'm probably going to have to work that Saturday. So the plan is, usually the Saturday shifts end at 2. I'm going to do a stream from 3 to 11. We'll do some multiplayer madness, some Fall Guys, Among Us, and some solo stuff when people aren't there, but you guys can come and go as you please. November 5th is the date, and it's all for charity. All the proceeds, when you donate, the proceeds get donated to the Children's Hospital, the Children's Miracle Network. So please donate. Last year, I got my highest donations ever for our 4-hour Among Us stream. I had my best year yet. I've actually beaten all of my previous years in the 4 years I've done it. So I want to beat that goal this year. And shout out to the company I work for, CNS, because they promoted it last year and they're going to do it again.
Nice.
I think that helped get me a couple of donations. It's all for a good cause. And you guys can watch me suck at video games and get mad and rage. So it's comedy entertainment for you too. Watch me just suck at things. I guess if we do the Among Us and the Fall Guys, like with the multiplayer, I think what I'm gonna do is when people aren't there, I'm gonna load up some of the classics. Maybe do like Mario 3 or something without a save file, and just play till I've run out of lives, like play to game over type of thing. I'll do something like that. But it's fun. You guys can chat with me or join me on the Twitch stream and everything. So it's fun.
You should do the Pac-Man challenge.
What's the Pac-Man challenge?
Just keep playing Pac-Man until the game's over.
Okay, well, I'm not that good at Pac-Man, so that won't last.
Oh, okay.
What do you want me to do with the other 7 hours and 57 minutes of the stream, Eric?
Jesus Christ. Like, you shouldn't die that fast. You said a single-player game that didn't have any save files, so I figured Pac-Man.
We had a friend were in Best Buy, and they had one of those Pac-Man arcade machines. We started playing it, and I like died immediately. I'm like, all right, we're good. Let's go. Done. Done. No more Pac-Man. So that's kind of the plan. Maybe we can get a Categories game going there if we have enough people. Because Categories, you can play with just a small group of people, or you can play with a large group of people. It really doesn't matter. So a lot of stuff to plan for that. Keep following the Twitch stuff. Keep following the YouTube stuff. The CKCC radio channel. With Dan and I focusing on the streams and Eric and I doing this show, the Nerd Table has kind of taken a back seat. It's not gone. We're not like quitting it or anything. It's not a priority at the moment. But there are still other podcasts to listen to. So please support the channel. And follow us on the socials at Chris O'Mealy. You can friend me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. You can even follow me on TikTok. I haven't posted anything, but I'm there, so why the hell not? Send me stuff you think is funny. I always watch the stuff people send me, so if you think it's funny, send it to me. Eric, any plugs?
Sick Minds, Matt and Eric. We did a show yesterday. I think he's uploading it either today or maybe he uploaded it last night. I have no idea. You can check us out. We posted it in our in the Discord, and we also posted it on Facebook as well, I think.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know where you guys.
that's another thing. We do have a Discord channel for the Nerd Table. If you guys are interested in joining the community to participate in some of this stuff, you just have to let me know. I will send you the link. It is a private channel, obviously, but if you're interested in joining it, Discord's a fun, really good way to communicate, I think, especially for gamers.
Yeah.
Really good app. Well, Eric, I'm about to click the button to stop this show, but before I do that, do you have any departing words for the people?
Be excellent to one another.